Hi, my name is Fabian Falk, and today I have the possibility to introduce you our research that we are doing at the University of Duisburg-Essen, together with Daniel Jaspers and Professor Dr. Heike Prof. I'm very happy to be here today, and I hope you will enjoy our presentation. So the topic is about the automotive industry, of course. And we are looking into the business transformation of incumbent automotive suppliers and transition to electromobility. Let me start with the actual problem. The actual problem is that we are seeing some sales with vehicles with new drive technologies of course, in Germany and of course also worldwide. But what we also see is that the transformation to a new technology, to a new dominant design, doesn't happen overnight, especially in the automotive industry. Therefore, I brought with me an forecast where we're seeing where the German market may be, as an example, in 10 years. And as we can see, only a half of the actual sales may be vehicles with new technologies, new drive technologies, and that's not much. So until we will reach the 100%, it will take a little bit more time to get there, maybe 10 years later or after 2040. Therefore, companies have to get along with it, and we are looking into this industry. So the transition to electromobility is a long-term technological change, and it takes time until new stable industry architecture is created. And so we are asking ourselves, how are established automotive suppliers shaping the transformation into electromobility? To get an answer or to get near this possible question, we do have an agenda with 4 points, starting with the literature review, going over to explaining of the decisions at different speeds. Results of our survey of incumbent German automotive suppliers will be introduced, and finally, the management applications and a quick outlook. Starting with the literature review. I will start with the left side, which is that we are consider different, or starting on the left side, consideration of the transformation of industries. We do see here different adaptation paths, especially for ones, starting with early entrants with relevant experiences and ending with late entrants. And as we can see, that firms which are early entrants are more or maybe more successful over time than, of course, late entrants. And as we also can see is that late entrants generally will lose over time. They can't be that successful. And we are seeing incumbents in the adaptation phase 3 and 4. So based on the literature, it's better to be an early entrant without experience to be successful over time than later entrants. On the right side, we also are looking or considering firm-specific decisions under uncertainty. We do have, of course, a high uncertainty, especially in the transition to a new dominant design. And so looking into the market uncertainty, but also the technological uncertainty, we need to reduce uncertainty. And therefore, we do have different steps we can go to get to the left bottom. The more we are here, the better it is for the company to make and to make better decisions. So we are, based on this, sharpening our research questions. How are incumbent firms shaping the transformation to a new basic technology? First, by quickly generating the transformation according to industry effects, like on the left side, or second, by waiting for more information due to firm effects. This leads us to the next agenda point, explaining of decisions at different speeds. So in general, it is always good to have a higher quality possibility of decisions. And therefore, we are seeing two different options. The first one is the improvement of the level of information. And the second one is waiting, but hopefully waiting not too long. But these two ones are options for increasing quality of decisions, and so finally for the return on investment. We're going back to the slide in a few minutes again. So considering this as a base, I'm going over to our strategies we see in the market, in the traditional technology and also in the new technology. In the traditional technology, at the right side, we can see some three different shrinking strategies: market exit, harvest strategy, and consolidation strategy. In the growth strategy, we divide them between two: leapfrogging and internal competence development. These are our two strategies in the new technology. So we think that it is possible to have some transition strategies, to combine shrinking strategies and also growth strategies. So looking into the possible combination, we are seeing first market exit and leapfrogging, a very fast one. Second and third, combining harvest strategy with leapfrogging and also internal competence development. And our last one, fourth, the consolidation strategy, combining with leapfrogging. So market exit, I'm going out really fast. Harvard, I'm staying in the market, but reducing investments. And consolidation strategy is I want to be the last man standing in the market, in the traditional technology. So combining these, we may see some different times firms need to, or companies need to get along with it, or in the transition time, over time to get to the new technology. And these are four alternative transition strategies, but we don't believe that it is possible to combine market exit and internal competence development, because we don't have time to build up competencies while I'm leaving the market. And also we don't believe that if I'm following the consolidation strategy, that I can't combine it with internal competence development, because all my resources I need then for being or for following the consolidation strategy. So if I want also to be a part of the new technology in the future, I need to jump in the future. So our fourth transition strategy is consolidation and leapfrogging, and not consolidation strategy and internal competence development. So taking all this together, we do see some investments and ramp down of the traditional business and ramp up of the new businesses. And you can also call it ambidextrous combination of shrinking and growth strategies. Going to the next slide. So where do we believe seeing these different combinations in the area of quality of decision, to say so. So we think that improvement of the level of information is or are the strategies of exit and leapfrogging, our first one, and also consolidation and leapfrogging, the last one, the fourth one. The other two, transition strategy 2 and 3, we are seeing it as something like waiting. So harvest strategies are also reducing the uncertainty of the time, and we are seeing them. So our question right now is, which transition strategies do companies choose during industry transformation? To take a quick excuse or another perspective on this context, before we're going over to our results, I want to show you our 5 phases we believe, or phases of transformation we believe companies are going through to get to the new technology. So considering point A, phases of transformation, we're starting in phase R with exclusive focus on combustion engine or technology. like we saw 2 decades before. And it's going over from 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, where we are landing or ending in the area of exclusive focus on electromobility. So this is just a framework which is very, very important to consider, to look or to be able to say where a company is maybe in this area in the first phases or on the last ones and so on. The second point B is that we are looking into our ambidexterity transition strategies 1 to 4, which I introduced before, and looking into the degree of ambidexterity over time. So if I'm following a rapid exit and leapfrogging strategy, which is the first one, I may have a high degree of ambidexterity in the short term, in the early phases of the transformation. Also, if I'm looking into the consolidation strategy, or combining with leapfrogging, our fourth strategy, we may also have a high degree of ambidexterity at the late phases. So, and between, we are seeing the harvest strategy combining leapfrogging and also harvest strategy combining with internal competence development, where we do see a higher degree of ambidexterity over time, over the 5 phases. So this is also very important to consider because this leads us to our hypothesis. The first, incumbent automotive companies believe the transformation process will take a long time. Second one, incumbent automotive companies are therefore pursuing a harvest strategies in transition to electromobility and wait with clear decisions on the future path. And this leads us to our next point, the results of a survey of incumbent German automotive suppliers. We are starting with a general overview to get an easy way to get in. We do have asked 83 German automotive suppliers, and we are seeing that over 60% are having 1 or 2 business units in the automotive division. This we can see on the left side of the graph. On the right side, we're also seeing that over 90% of the companies are generating over 40% of their sales within the automotive sector, which is quite huge. Of course, we are asking the automotive sector, but we see a really, really high relevance for them in this area. And to take a deeper look into it, we do have about 75% of the companies are generating more than 70% of their sales in the automotive sector. And in general, I think it's necessary to say at this point in time, we're doing this survey in cooperation with Deloitte Consulting at the beginning of 2021. So are we going to look into the next slide? We ask the automotive suppliers, by when do you expect a complete phase out of combustion engine? And there we can see that over 85% are saying that the combustion technology will phase out by 2040. And it's something that we are really, really seeing actually in exchange with also other experts, that it may be over for the combustion technology by 2040. And we are very happy to see also this response in this area. And on the right side, we also asked them which technology will become the new technology standard by 2030. And they had the possibility to give multiple answers. And there we are seeing that the dominant design may be the battery electric vehicle, and followed by the hybrid electric vehicle, so something like the transition vehicle. And at the end, we also see, of course, some answers in the fuel cell electric vehicles and also the vehicles using some synthetic fuels, but it compared to the answers of the battery electric vehicles, it's quite small. So it's also something that the forecast showed at the beginning, that battery electric vehicles may have a high impact in the future for the automotive industry, and that the automotive suppliers are also looking into. So we also asked them another questions, of course. Proportion of existing products have been replaced by electromobility. There we are seeing that over 50% are expecting a significant less demand in the midterms of their product. So they are under a high pressure. Looking on the right side, so the proportion of existing products has come under strong cost pressure as a result of electromobility and have to be changed significantly. Yes, this is a little bit not that hard, but because 60%, say just up to 40% of the project might be under strong cost pressure in the first place. But to look on the other side, over 40% or up to 40% of the companies may be under a strong cost pressure and have to be changed in the future. So we really see that the industry is under pressure. And also, of course, we asked them about the COVID-19 pandemic and ask how high is the influence and what does it mean, or what is the meaning of the COVID-19 pandemic for them. And they had the possible answers to say if it accelerated, we don't see any influence, or does it slow down the transformation. And therefore, we are seeing that over 16% or 2/3 are saying that the COVID-19 pandemic accelerates the transformation. And also, additionally, we are seeing something very interesting, that on average, we are seeing a higher tendency to to expand the activities outside the automotive sector. So not only is the pandemic something that accelerates the transformation, we are also seeing that the companies are open for different areas, and that this is on average something very interesting, that maybe COVID-19 opened their eyes for other industries, and it is necessary for them to look into other industries. So to get more into the transition of transformation to electric mobility, we asked the companies if they already started the transformation. And yeah, we are seeing over 18% that they started. And we additionally ask, when did they start their transition? And we are seeing that over 70% of the automotive supplier started since 2015. And that is great, but additionally, of course, we also see about 30% us even started years before. So it seems the way that the automotive supplier industry, especially the German automotive suppliers, are very great in the transition. But the question actually is, how far are they in their transition? So taking the results together, we do have our last slide here of our results. This is about the transition strategies. We introduced the 5 phases of ambidexterity towards the transition to new technology. We do see on the left side our market exit leapfrogging, harvest strategy, and internal competence development, and also consolidation strategy and leapfrogging. So 1 to 4 of our transition strategies. And as we see right now, we see some numbers in combining the transition strategies and the different phases towards the new technology. And we are seeing that mostly the companies are choosing the harvest strategy to wait until the level of information for a decision under uncertainty improves, which is very, very important to see. And the strategies which may have a higher radical ones or have a higher risk, like market exit and jumping, leapfrogging, and also consolidation strategy and leapfrogging, these are not the strategies that companies are following actually. And additionally, we also see that most of the companies, of the automotive suppliers, are right in the transition. They are right in the middle of the transformation phases. So this is quite interesting that many companies are starting and are doing something, and it sounds good in the first place. But as we know, how should I say, the hard phases are to come. It's the exploitation phase, where I need to shift my competencies from the traditional model, business model, to the new business model, which may be the hardest phase of all to get to a phase where only electromobility will be the dominant design. And this is what the company is doing, or mostly is doing. But the hard phase is really, really to come. So it's good to see, and it's nice to see that they are evolving, that they are transforming, but the hard parts are to come. So I think this is also very, very, very essential to consider. And additionally, it's very, very good to see and nice to see that mostly of the companies are following the harvest strategies. So most of the surveyed German automotive suppliers are pursuing a harvest strategy. And this leads us to our last page, management implication and outlook. So, established automotive suppliers in transformation to electromobility rate the firm-specific investment risk higher than the industry-related risk of being forced out of the market if you wait and see. And therefore, they follow slowly and in the long-term harvest strategies as decisions with a specific degree of ambidexterity, but over time, a relative low. They are not focusing on the relatively high risk strategy like market exit and leapfrogging. They're doing the transformation, but they're doing it low. And however, industry effects can be clearly proved, especially from Klepper, and are dangerous for incumbent automotive suppliers. So they might be even stronger in times of COVID-19 pandemic, which creates an openness due to new basic technologies, due to new technological possibilities that must be used. And additionally, more than 2/3, as said before, of the respondents see the pandemic as an accelerator of the transition. This is great. This is great that this huge pandemic has some positive effects for the transformation. And all in all, as it stands here, this shows us how crucial it is for incumbent automotive suppliers to take industry effects serious and to accelerate business transformation in transition to electromobility, especially, or for example, by activating sensing capabilities. Also, the more transformation content can be generated, the faster a transformation is possible. And finally, the faster firms act, the more they can influence the industry transformation. So all in all, it is really interesting to see that suppliers are in the transformation, that they are under pressure, but we are only at the beginning, and the hard steps will come within the next phase, and the suppliers need to get over it to be successful over time. So all in all, thank you very much for being here today. Thank you for your attention, and I'm very, very glad if we exchange and get an exchange at the day of the Gerpisa colloquium.